how to make perfect chocolate chip cookies. Hey there, cookie lovers. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm your name, and today we're diving into one of the all-time classics, the chocolate chip cookie. But this isn't just any recipe. This is the recipe that will give you the perfect cookies every single time. I still remember coming home from school to the irresistible smell of freshly baked cookies wafting through the house. My mom had this magical way of turning a few simple ingredients into pure bliss. Over the years, I've tweaked and perfected her recipe, and today I'm super excited to share it with all of you. Trust me, once you try these cookies, you'll never go back to store-bought again. So grab your mixing bowls and let's get baking. Ready to create some cookie magic? Let's get started. Before we jump into the fun part, let's go over what we'll need. Here's the lineup. 1 cup unsalted butter, softened. 1 cup granulated sugar. 1 cup packed brown sugar. 2 large eggs, room temperature. 2 teaspoons pure vanilla extract. 3 cups all-purpose flour. 1 teaspoon baking soda. ½ teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon salt. 2 cups chocolate chips, semi-sweet, dark, or mix it up. Optional but delicious add-ins. 1 cup chopped nuts, like walnuts or pecans. 1 cup rolled oats for a heartier texture. You'll also need mixing bowls, electric mixer or stand mixer, measuring cups and spoons, baking sheets, parchment paper or silicone baking mats. Feel free to pause the video here to gather your ingredients. Ready? Let's make some dough. First things first, let's get everything prepped. Trust me, having all your ingredients ready makes the baking process so much smoother. Tip: baking is a science, so accurate measurements are key. Measuring dry ingredients. In a medium bowl, add 3 cups of all-purpose flour. To measure flour correctly, spoon it into your measuring cup and level it off with a knife. This prevents overpacking, which can lead to dry cookies. Add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, ½ teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt to the flour. Whisk everything together until well combined. Set this bowl aside. Preparing wet ingredients. Make sure your 1 cup of unsalted butter is softened. If you forgot to take it out of the fridge, you can microwave it for about 10 seconds, but be careful not to melt it. Crack 2 large eggs into a small bowl. It's best if they're at room temperature. If they're cold, place them in a bowl of warm water for a few minutes. Measure out 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Choosing your chocolate chips. Measure 2 cups of chocolate chips. Semi-sweet is classic, but you can mix dark and milk chocolate or even use chocolate chunks for extra gooiness. All right, with everything measured and ready, we're set to mix our dough. Now comes the fun part, bringing it all together. Creaming butter and sugars. In a large mixing bowl, add your softened 1 cup of unsalted butter. Pour in 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of packed brown sugar. The brown sugar adds moisture and a rich flavor. Using an electric mixer on medium speed, cream the butter and sugars together. This should take about 2 to 3 minutes. You'll know it's ready when the mixture is light in color and fluffy in texture. Note: creaming incorporates air, which helps your cookies bake up nice and tender. Adding eggs and vanilla. Add the 2 large eggs to the butter-sugar mixture, one at a time. Beat well after each addition. Pour in the 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Mix until everything is well combined. Combining dry ingredients. Gradually add the dry ingredient mixture to the wet ingredients. I recommend doing this in thirds. Mix on low speed or stir by hand to prevent overmixing. Overmixing can develop too much gluten, resulting in tough cookies. Scrape down the sides of the bowl with a spatula to ensure everything is well incorporated. Visual cues. The dough should be thick and slightly sticky but not wet. If it's too dry, you can add a teaspoon of milk. If it's too wet, sprinkle in a little more flour. Time to make these cookies chocolatey. Folding in the chocolate chips. Pour your 2 cups of chocolate chips into the dough. Using a spatula or wooden spoon, fold the chips into the dough until they're evenly distributed. Optional mix-ins. If you're adding nuts or rolled oats, now's the time to fold them in. Be creative. You can also add white chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, or dried cranberries. Tip: for a little gourmet touch, reserve a handful of chocolate chips to press into the tops of the cookies before baking. This makes them look extra tempting. I know waiting is the hardest part, but chilling the dough is essential. Why chill? Chilling the dough for at least 1 hour helps the flavors meld together and prevents the cookies from spreading too much during baking. It also allows the flour to hydrate, resulting in a better texture. How to chill. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap or transfer the dough to an airtight container. Place it in the refrigerator for 1 hour or up to 24 hours if you can wait that long, speeding up the process. In a hurry? You can chill the dough in the freezer for about 30 minutes instead. Note, chilled dough is easier to handle and shape, so you'll get uniformly sized cookies. While our dough is chilling, let's get the oven ready. Setting the temperature. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit at 100 grelli. Make sure it's fully preheated before you start baking. Preparing baking sheets. Line your baking sheets with parchment paper or silicone baking mats. This not only prevents sticking but also helps the cookies bake evenly. Oven rack position. Adjust your oven rack to the middle position. This ensures even heat distribution. Finally, it's time to bake. Shaping the cookies. Use a cookie scoop or tablespoon to portion out the dough. Aim for balls about 2 tablespoons in size. Roll the dough between your palms to form a ball for uniform cookies. Spacing. Place the dough balls on your prepared baking sheets, leaving about 2 inches between each one. Baking. Bake in the preheated oven for 10 to 12 minutes. For larger cookies, about 1/4 cup of dough, bake for 12 to 15 minutes. Watching for doneness. The cookies are ready when the edges are golden brown and the centers look slightly underbaked. Don't worry if they seem a bit soft, they'll firm up as they cool. Adjustments for texture. For chewier cookies, bake on the lower end of the time range. For crispier cookies, bake a couple of minutes longer. Your kitchen must smell amazing right now. Cooling. Remove the baking sheets from the oven and let the cookies cool on the sheet for about 5 minutes. This allows them to set. After 5 minutes, transfer the cookies to a wire cooling rack to cool completely. Serving. These cookies are best enjoyed warm when the chocolate is still gooey. Pour yourself a glass of cold milk and indulge. Presentation ideas. For an extra touch, sprinkle a pinch of flaky sea salt on top of the warm cookies to enhance the flavors. If you're gifting them, stack the cookies in a decorative tin or wrap them in parchment paper tied with a ribbon. Storing. Store any leftovers, if there are any, in an airtight container at room temperature. They'll stay fresh for up to a week. Now that you've mastered the classic, here are some ideas to switch things up. Storing dough. Freeze the dough. Roll the dough into balls and freeze them on a baking sheet. Once frozen, transfer them to a freezer bag. Bake from frozen, adding a couple of minutes to the baking time. Flavor variations. Oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Replace 1 cup of flour with 1 cup of rolled oats. Double chocolate cookies. Add ½ cup of unsweetened cocoa powder to the dry ingredients and increase the sugar slightly. Spiced cookies. Add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of nutmeg to the dry ingredients for a warm, cozy flavor. Dietary adjustments. Vegan option. Use vegan butter and substitute eggs with flax eggs. 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed mixed with 3 tablespoons water per egg. Gluten-free option. Use a 1:1 gluten-free flour blend in place of all-purpose flour. Baking tips. Consistency. If you're baking multiple batches, keep the dough chilled between bakes. Mix-ins. Get creative. Try adding toffee bits, chopped pretzels, or dried fruit. And that's it. You've just baked the most amazing chocolate chip cookies ever. Give yourself a pat on the back. You deserve it. Quick recap. Prep your ingredients and measure accurately. Cream your butter and sugars until light and fluffy. Mix in eggs and vanilla, then gradually add dry ingredients. Fold in those delicious chocolate chips and any extras. Chill the dough to enhance flavor and control spreading. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until golden perfection. Cool and enjoy every bite. I hope you had as much fun baking these cookies as I did sharing the recipe with you. They're perfect for parties, gifting, or just satisfying that sweet tooth. If you tried this recipe, let me know how it turned out in the comments below. Did you add any special twists? Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow cookie enthusiasts, and subscribe to my channel for more delicious recipes. Make sure to tap the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for watching and baking along with me today. Until next time, keep spreading the love 1 cookie at a time.